Why I Hate OnlyFans and Porn by Nordic Perspective. Well, the answer is simple. It gives men a sexual outlet, and you hate men. That's why. You're going to give your own bullshit reasons, Nordic, but that's the actual reasons. Now, let's hear this awful person bash on the contentment of men.
Things. Now, this is a video I have wanted to make for a long time, but the reason I haven't is because I think this is one of the most important videos on this channel, and
Well, that says a lot. So you bashing men is the most important video on your channel. Okay, thanks for admitting that.
want it to be perfect, and I think that's why I have been procrastinating it so much. So, the topic of today's video: why I hate OnlyFans. Now, I'm not only going to talk about OnlyFans.
OnlyFans, I have to admit, I don't like the fact that it takes advantage of men, of desperate men. But what can I say? I mean, men aren't forced to waste their money on women who don't like them. So the guys are to blame.
In this video, I'm going to talk about adult content in general. And I think one of the most terrifying things about this is how normalized adult content is. There's a lot of terrible things happening in the planet, but most of those things...
Really? So all the terrible things like wars going on, that's not your issue. Your issue is that guys have access to images of beautiful women. That's your issue. Right.
Things are not normalized or encouraged or even glorified.
Normalized, lady. Pornography has been around, and prostitution, since human beings have been human beings. So, of course, it's normalized because it's normal. If you are against prostitution, women should give it up for free. There should be no more male providers.
So I did a quick Google search here, and according to this study I'm reading right now, 61% of the general population reports viewing pornography. Reports. Imagine how many people do not even admit to it.
I agree. So just about everybody does, which means this is the way human beings are. And I can accept that, especially Nordic, because it gives men an outlet.
Teenagers, 73% of teens have consumed pornography. And then there's also statistics on...
Yeah, well, teens, that's when they're the most randy. Of course you're going to do it. Just because these people are very, very young doesn't mean they're not sexual beings. And their libidos are maxed out. Of course they're going to be into pornography. Hey, little girls are into pornography. When girls are like 12 and 13, they go and read romance novels that's full of disgusting pornography. And you know something? You're for that. You know why, Nordic? Because you're against OnlyFans, but you're not against romance novels. Are you?
Different religions and such things. Now, I'm going to link this down below. I am not sure exactly what the statistics are. I should probably look more into it. But as someone that will live in the world, I can definitely tell that this is a big problem. I would actually...
No. The big problem is people like you. Now, women jump down on, what was it? Prohibition. They're basically the driving force to prohibition. They cut out alcohol, and then they brought it back because everybody wanted to drink alcohol, including all the women. The same thing with pornography. You girls consume pornography by the bucketfuls. So when you talk about making it gone, you mean gone for us guys only. That's why I find you so disgusting. Perspective.
Say one of the worst things that has happened to humanity is adult content. So I have taken some...
You're anti-sex then. So sex is the worst thing that ever happened to people. I hope you don't have any children because that means you engaged in it. But you know something, guys? I bet this woman has a workhorse provider who she uses. She probably has children.
I guess I don't know what to call this, some notes for this video because there's a lot of things I want to go through. So let's start with how I was raised. Now, the way I was raised,
It doesn't matter how you were raised. You either find sex enjoyable or you don't. And from what I see, you're the ones who don't.
was raised by an incredible mother that raised me with strong morals and values. I used to watch movies and read books where, you know, there is a princess getting saved by a prince and then they fall in love and live happily ever after. And
there you go. So he's a high status man who becomes either a workhorse for you or he's high status enough that he's able to shower you with luxuries and you don't have to work for a living. That's what this is about. You don't like sex, but you like the idea of a man working for you. Gotcha.
my view of love and having children was a man and a woman in a loving, caring relationship that are willing to sacrifice and live for one another.
Really? Well, you don't sacrifice for anything. What have you sacrificed? Or women in general? Women don't sacrifice anything in marriages. So you don't believe in it. That's a lie. What you believe is the man sacrificing for the woman. That's what you actually believe in.
So I grew up hoping to one day meet a handsome prince. That's kind of how
There you go, Prince. It's not like the working class Joe. You spit on them, those low status bums. You want a prince.
I grew up. But then I started school. And I have to say that the way boys were treating girls, including me, wasn't so charming. I had even been grabbed.
They were low status and they came on to you. And you didn't want their sex. You want a high status man to give you an easy ride. And they were like low status nobody. Teen boys are nobodies. Right. So they discussed you, right?
By some of the boys without my permission, of course, and this is when I got into the reality.
Cool story, bro. When women tell these things, I just say, cool story. Because that's all they are. They're just damn stories. And there's been enough false allegations by enough women that I just disregard this. This is all Nordic perspective. This is all white noise.
Of things. There is no such things as princesses and dragons that a man are willing to fight for me.
So you want a man to be in danger for you. You want him shedding blood. So not only you're into high status, you're into violence. Women love violence and then wealth in that order. You're so typical, Nordic.
So this is when your dreams get shattered and you come to the reality of the world where people are not so nice. I was pretty blue-eyed and naive and...
So what you mean by not so nice is the girl, one of the boys might have pinched your bum. One of these low status losers. Okay. Hey, so far what you've painted isn't very tough, right? Like, she's not talking about seeing people homeless in the streets or starving, is she? She's just a moment here. Sorry, I got distracted.
It was hard for me to realize the cruelty of the world. So
boys coming on to you is that's the cruel part. Okay.
This is on to the next chapter, the death of love and beauty. This is what I realized about the planet, that things are not so beautiful and love is very complicated.
Love isn't complicated. You simply lack it. There's nothing complex about that. Love is simple. Women love men, men love women. They get together, they enjoy sex with one another, they make babies. Since that doesn't happen, it doesn't mean that it's complex. It just means you lack it. It doesn't exist. Not for men, anyway.
Especially when it comes to adult content. So, how did we get here? I have this is supposed to represent one of the first humans to exist. And this human thinks about survival. So, food. We need food to survive, and water. And then
This is what we call in the pro-male collective biological reductionism, right? It's basically women and men making excuses for bad female behavior by saying it's natural and it's all part of survival. Of course, this is bunk.
there's also a baby. This is supposed to represent reproduction. For some reason, humans have been born with an instinct to reproduce. But
If that's the case, Nordic, how come the birth rates are dropping? I mean, if you have an instinct to reproduce, how come you aren't cranking out baby after baby? Right? Women are deciding they don't want to bother with babies. So you are just obviously wrong. There is no such instinct.
of course, this is very simplified. That's why I put a question mark here of things human thinks about. We think about, well, of course, friendship and love. I think having people in your life has also been a survival mechanism to survive. We need people to do well, and then of course having a safe place to stay. Then we have entertainment, we have beauty, we care about things looking beautiful. So there's many things you could put into this.
But that's not, it has nothing to do with reproduction, though. Like you wanting that prince, that's your survival idea for yourself. It's about having a wealthy man that owns property, that gives it all to you for free. So you're taken care of. Has nothing to do with children.
But in general, there's two human instincts: surviving and reproducing, right? So that is why some of the most beneficial industries are the food industry, the medication industry, and adult content. I think this links back to our
Yeah, but adult content doesn't lead to reproduction. It doesn't.
instinct to reproduce. So, some people are going to argue it has always existed. I remember.
Well, it's not an argument. It's just a fact. It is just a fact.
In history class in school, one of the things that we were taught is that one of the first ever jobs was prostitution.
It goes to show you that women don't like men. Women don't spread their legs for men because they like us or find us sexy. Right? You're leveraging your sex appeal to get freebies.
It was one of the first jobs to exist on the planet. And that goes back to, of course, our instinct that...
I don't consider it a job. I consider it a scam. It was one of the first scams, Nordic, that has ever existed. So I'm basically admitting that women scammed men from the dawn of time. I agree with that.
We want to reproduce, I guess, from an instinct perspective, right? Like if...
No, it's not reproduction. If you want to reproduce, there doesn't have to be any payment involved. You have sex with a man and you produce children. There doesn't have to be any money going back and forth. No, this isn't about reproduction. This is about the woman leeching off the man so she doesn't have to work for a living. It's a scam.
We have an instinct to eat food, so if we see a chocolate cake where our instinct is going to say we should eat it because we have an instinct to survive and get calories. Doesn't mean it's a good thing necessarily. So yeah, it has always existed is something people are always going to argue. It started with prostitution, then maybe some text written, erotica, then of course magazines, porn magazines. It went from
And romance novels. Don't forget romance novels.
photos, text, and now it's videos. And videos is of course, well, they're on the internet. You can see them for free, and
That's fantastic. That's fantastic, Nordic. So young guys, all those teenage boys that you puked over, who you snubbed, they have an outlet that's better than you. Rather than those boys trying to gain status, gain wealth, and try and bribe someone like you who doesn't like them or sex into their lives, they just go on to the internet and see something far superior to you and really get to enjoy a good orgasm. Good for them. I support that 100%. That's good for society.
even children can access them. I'm not
No, children don't. This is the lie that's told over and over again. Small children are not interested in sex. Matter of fact, it grosses them out. So don't even bother lying.
going to go into this topic in the video because it's such a dark topic, but
And it's untrue. So I'm glad you're not bothering.
it is concerning. It is concerning that teenagers and children watch this.
No. Children don't. Teenagers, yes. Children don't. You're telling a lie. You are a liar, Nordic Perspective. You are a liar.
This type of content, and we are not restricted.
Like a typical woman, you are trying to use children as a lever to get what you want. And what you want is the suffering of the male sex. We've got a good thing going on, and that pisses you off, so you want to stop it.
Restricting it in any way. But this is a whole different topic, of course, of restriction and such things. Now, I'm going to say that even though something has always existed, it doesn't make it right.
It is right. It is right, because the alternative is boys running around with blue balls, chasing after people like you who hate their guts. No, this is right. Matter of fact, it's righteous.
Humans are pretty messed up, and there's some things we do that maybe is not the best for us, like cheating or abusing one another or killing one another. Just because something has always existed, it does not make it.
What does this got to do with OnlyFans? Killing one another and cheating on one another. Well, maybe cheating, but not killing. This is about OnlyFans. Focus.
Right. So, what has adult content turned into? Now, one of the things I think about in 2026 is female empowerment. So, this is actually something
So you're admitting that women have power through their sexuality. It's good. It's refreshing to hear truth from you once in a blue moon.
I wrote here on the back. So, one argument I have heard from women that do this type of content is that we have been sexualized all of our lives.
No, they have been sexualized. These women have guys who found them sexy. That's an important distinction. Men are attracted to women. That's 100% righteous. What's wrong is you hating men for it. There's something deeply wrong with female psychology.
So why not make a profit of it? In my opinion,
Well, the answer is by rights, you should love men and want to be with men by nature. That's what you should be, but you aren't. That's what's wrong about it. But them making money off guys who are willing is a far shot better than what you're pushing for.
opinion, this is like your house being on fire. And instead of stopping the fire, you end up just burning down the entire house.
Really? So women making tons of money off of desperate men, that's burning their house down? How so? Nordic Perspective, how is that? Not every OnlyFans girl makes tons of money, but there's ones that do, and they look at you and think, who would want to live your wretched life?
This is the mindset. And I understand where this is coming from, you know, as a woman that, well, I'm in a loving relationship right now. I have been involuntarily sexualized throughout my life.
You mean you've guys found you sexy and you hate them, and so you're going to use a disgusting word. Right. You're a misandrist. Did you say you're in a loving relationship? In other words, you've got a male provider. You admitted, lady, that you're not into sex, you don't like it, and so you're using a man. Just like I said at the beginning. That makes you a very disgusting person. Women who don't like sex with men should be honest and say, I'm not going to get married to a man. I'm not going to have a boyfriend because I don't like him. I don't like his sex. And I'm not going to use him. If you were a good person, you wouldn't use other people. But you aren't a good person, Nordic, and that's why you're using a man.
That doesn't mean I'm going to start making adult content. That doesn't mean
Well, you don't need to because you've got a man to use. You got a man doing all the heavy lifting. You're taking advantage of him. You're worse than any OnlyFans model that has ever been.
I'm going to give away my body for €5 a month. It's a
What do you mean give away? You mean like share, right? I thought this was about love, right? So when you have sex with a man, you're just sharing it. You're not giving it away like it's a prize, right? You love men. And so this is mutual love between you. It's funny that you never express it that way. Right?
terrible argument, in my opinion. But this is one of the most concerning things, I think, right now.
Well, these women don't need an argument. They're living the life they want to. What are you going to do about it? They're making money off of desperate men. I would prefer that men not give these women money and make them go get a job and earn a real living and add to the economy. But what can I say? These women are benefiting. So they're not going to give it up for you.
One reason I'm afraid for my daughter's or son's future.
Well, you're afraid your daughter might bang some guy, which makes you puke, right? Your loving man, he probably doesn't get much sex from you, right? But you're really thinking my son is going to like have access to women, and I hate my son because he's male, and I don't want him to have access to women, right? That's what you're saying.
That it has turned.
You want your son grinding away, going to school with blue balls until he gains that degree that gives him enough money that he can bribe some woman like you into his life who probably won't deal with him sexually for the most part. That's what you wish for your son. This is what makes you such a terrible person. Those OnlyFans models are miles above you in morality.
Some way into female empowerment. It is not empowering to sell your body or give your body away. Prostitution.
Yes, it is. These women are happy. They're getting all kinds. They're getting all kinds of money. And they're laughing they're all the way to the bank. And they don't have to work for a living like you. It's just that they chose a different method, right? You got a sucker for a husband to take care of you, and they don't want to deal with men at all, so they just do it through this form of prostitution, through OnlyFans. You know, you're doing the same thing, Nordic Perspective. It's just that there's two different paths to go by. You are dealing with prostitution as much as they are. Your husband has to work to get into your pants.
In the past used to be something women did out of desperation.
No, no, no. Bullshit. Bullshit. Homeless men would love to have that outlet. Homeless men would love for women to pay them to have sex with them. They don't have that option, do they? And if women are desperate, they can go get a job. They can go work at McDonald's like the guys have to if they're desperate.
It was not a nice job to have. So, for example, during war in Finland, some women lost their husbands and they had to sell themselves to be able to take care of the children.
No, no, no. They could have gotten a job. Nordic Perspective, they could have got a job. Do you remember like Second World War, like you were talking about? Rosie the Riveter. The women just got themselves jobs because there's no men to do it. So these women, they would prefer to scam men rather than work for a living. Because that's what they actually did. When they sold their bodies, they were scamming men. And that doesn't make them desperate. That just makes them low character.
It was a terrible thing. And that's why you try to help these women.
But not terrible enough. It still was better than getting a job, obviously, right? So it wasn't terrible. Terrible to these women was working for a living. That's what was terrible to them and you. Again, that's why you got married.
And we should try to help these women out of prostitution.
Really, so are you going to give women your money? These women on OnlyFans are getting free money from men. Are you going to give them your money to say, hey, don't accept money from men? When you say help women, you mean men give women free money. That's what you mean. It's not going to come out of your pocket. How about your husband? He should give free. No, sorry. All his money goes to you, to your form of prostitution. So he can't. So who exactly is going to give women free money so they don't have to get a job and don't have to deal with prostitution?
So, why do I care? I don't have to make adult content.
Because you hate guys, that's why. That's why you care. You're seeing guys get a sexual outlet that they don't have to jump through hoops for, pisses you off. Just like the white nationalist hates it when he sees a black man getting by in life and doing well for himself. Black man works and makes his own business, and his business is doing well. The white nationalist wants to burn that business down. This is what you are, Nordic Perspective. You're a white nationalist, and all us guys are black men. And you see OnlyFans is a business that helps us out, so you want to burn it down.
I don't have to consume it. So why do I care? Now, one of the reasons is that this is not only about me. For our future daughters and sons, for our...
No. No one's going to force your daughters to sell themselves. They can get a job, just like you, rather than leeching off your husband. And this benefits the son. Don't get me wrong. A lot of you guys are getting scammed by these OnlyFans girls, but it still beats the alternative that you want to put them through.
Brothers and sisters and parents that we love. Everything we do is a part of normalizing it. If a lot of people smoke cigarettes, you're more likely to smoke.
So you don't want your brother to look at pornography and get a good, healthy orgasm? Wow, he must really appreciate you.
Cigarettes. So, for every single woman that makes this...
Did you say cigarettes? But cigarettes cause cancer. Orgasms don't. So there's no comparison here. There's no parallels.
type of content. It's a part of normalizing it. For every single man and woman that watch this type of content and is open about it, it is a part of glorifying it. And
You want to get rid of normalization? Spread your legs for your husband for free. Say, I want to get a divorce. I don't want you moving away. I'm going to get a job and live where I'm at. You get a job and live where you're at. We'll get together and I'll just open my legs for you all the time because I love you. That's how you stop it, Nordic Perspective.
normalizing it. People are talking about adult content openly. They're talking about watching it like it's not a big deal. This is
It isn't a big deal. It's only a big deal if you hate men.
why it's so terrifying to me. This is why I truly hate these things.
I told you guys. I told you. Men getting their rocks off easy and cheaply, that pisses her off. She's admitting it. You are what we call a bad person, Nordic Perspective. Women like you shouldn't be allowed to get married or have boyfriends. You shouldn't be allowed to scam men. If you're against other women scamming men, you shouldn't be allowed to scam men. Your husband should be divorcing you and saying, get a job.
Because it comes from a place of love towards people.
Oh, yeah. Hating on your son and the idea that, your daughter might give a freebie by scamming men. That's all love, right? I'd hate to think what your idea of hatred is.
If I have a son and a daughter, I want my daughter to grow up and hopefully fall in love with an incredible man that loves her, takes care of her.
There you go. It takes care of her. I thought just loves her, period. Why does he need to take care of her? Again, you're a prostitute. And you're hoping that your daughter will be engaged in prostitution with a man. He's paying for her. So again, all you're saying, Perspective, is you don't like the form that of prostitution that these other women are using.
And if I have a son, I want him to grow up and find a woman that loves and cares for him.
Really? Really? So married men still engage in, watch porn because their women don't do anything for them. They got to fight with their wives who supposedly love them to spread their legs and show them intimacy. Women would say, hey, aren't I enough for you? And the answer is no, you're never enough. Because you're never honest, for one thing. You don't like men, you don't like sex. And you enter the relationship under false pretenses. You convince the man that you love him when the whole time you are only fanning him.
I don't want my son to give women money on OnlyFans.
Yeah, you just wanted him to do it in marriage.
Women that don't care about him. These women don't love him. These women don't care about him.
Well, that's no different than to get married. How many times have we found? I have a video showing a woman who ditched her man once she got crippled. Men who get crippled and can't work anymore, their women ditch them. There was never any love.
And same with a woman. If I have a daughter, I want her to...
Okay. Do we really need to go the last 7 minutes? I think I've said as much as I need to. Let me just pause. Oh, yeah. I want to talk to right here because she tries the old addiction, right? Porn addiction, right? It's like food addiction. I eat every day, right?
So I'm not going to go too much into how evil the industry is. Most of us already know.
The industry isn't evil. If the industry is evil, you're evil. Because you involve yourself in prostitution with your husband.
So Also, I want to go into the addiction, terrible addiction. This mostly applies to men.
There you go. It's an addiction and it applies to men. So this woman admits that women consume porn, but they don't get addicted. We get addicted, right? They're immune to this. They just consume it by the bucket loads, but it's not addiction for them. Do you see the hatred here, right? The misandry.
So in the past, before adult content, then beautiful women were an inspiration for men to be good men.
What does that mean? What do you mean good men? Hey, could you do something other than inspire? Why don't you just do something to add to society? Right? And when she says good, what she's saying is the men work for women and don't expect anything back in return. That's what she means by good. A good servant, a good slave.
So they could have a chance on a beautiful woman.
There you go. She had a chance, right? A good man is someone who slaves away for a woman and hopes that she might give something in return. You are really disgusting. Perspective. And there is no addiction. It doesn't exist. Like I say, guys could say, I have a golfing addiction. I love golfing and I golf every day. But people don't actually say that about them, right? And sex is universal for guys. And we had our way, we do it every day. It's not an addiction. That's no different than drinking water every day.
But now men can just sit at home and get off to 1,000 women.
There you go. There's her issue. There's your issue. I told you guys. Guys are getting what they want, what they need easily and cheaply. This is what her issue is. This is why you are a bad person. Perspective. You're a bad person. You hate male satisfaction. You hate male contentment.
And this is an addiction because you will start watching something and then you need more, you need more, you need more. Same with alcohol.
Well, it may not need, you desire more. And there's more to be had, right?
And I know some people that they don't even want to make love with their girlfriend because they're so addicted to adult.
Yeah, they found out their girlfriends suck. They don't want to spread their legs for them easily. So they just go to pornography. And the sex is better on the pornography sites. A lot of you girls are lame ducks in bed. Do you understand that? What's your name again? Nordic? You probably are a bad lay. And men decide, hey, this is better. That's not men's fault. It's not men getting addicted. It's you not getting better at something. Learn how to deal in sex, right?
Content. I have heard of this. I don't think I know anyone like this, but I've heard of these scenarios when...
Oh, you don't know anyone like this, but the addiction is out there, everyone. She doesn't know anyone personally, but you know.
Men are so addicted to adult content that they can't even make love to their women anymore. This is terrifying. It's an addiction. You cannot...
Well, their women don't satisfy them. What can I say?
Not make love anymore to people because you have been watching something so extreme. Maybe even from a very young age, maybe even as...
Is it the guys aren't making love with their women, or the women were never making love with their men in the first place? There are sexless marriages, Nordic Perspective. So I would bet my money on the latter. I'd bet my money on these women that these guys shacked up and and spent money on and worked for weren't interested in their having sex with their men in the first place. But you go and spin it like this.
A boy. And this addiction thing it's the
Non-existent. Yeah.
extreme, but this is very common. People get addicted to this and they stay
It's very common, but she doesn't know anyone personally. That's how common it is.
at home and they don't no longer want to be a good man or a woman because they can see thousands of
Your idea again of a good man or woman is a good woman doesn't give out. She keeps her man working. That's what a good woman is to you. Well, we must live in upside down world here. Okay. Hopefully that's all we need to say. Okay. We'll end off right here. This is the most this is the biggest joke of the whole video, right?
I think I missed a note here. I want to end the video by saying you're worthy of love. Whoever
Well, a guy's worthy of love, but he has to be a prince. He has to have lots of money, and he's got to work for it, and he's got to expect nothing in return. And yet he's worthy of love. What you said earlier is contradictory to what you're saying now. So remember, guys, the whole relationship between men and women is a con. It's a giant con. But these women don't even know how to con you well. You're the worst scam artist I've ever seen, Nordic Perspective. Your sales pitch is crap. You're trying to sell ice to an Inuit. So you're saying, guys, hey, guys, you're worthy of love. So stop watching porn. But you're not worthy of love, right? You're not worthy of any kind of expectation or any return. You're just supposed to be a workhorse for a woman and be glad that she even deigns to be around you. That's worthiness of love, according to this scam artist. Anyway, we will end it here. And this experience with you, Nordic Perspective, has been puke-inducing. Thank you.